Por favor, preste atenção ao meu aviso. Esse universo já está em um caminho rápido para expirar e vocês são os únicos no universo ainda vivos nesse momento. Eu vou contar a minha história e as minhas viagens na esperança de ajudar seu povo a sobreviver. Meu nome é Auren, venho de uma dimensão diferente, de um universo diferente, tentando resgatar e salvar o máximo de vida possível do que eu chamo de o vazio. Na ciência, vocês chamam isso de decaimento a vácuo, exceto que esta é uma criatura viva e real. Fala pessoal, beleza? Aqui quem vos fala é o Thiago, estamos em mais um vídeo de Absoluto Auren, ou o próprio Auren Absoluto, é o ser mais avançado do seu universo. Dizem que ele é o ser mais poderoso da ficção. Será mesmo? Antes de tudo isso, que a gente descobrir isso, destrinchar tudo isso, que tal você encher esse vídeo de like absoluto e garantir aquela sua inscrição aqui no canal para mais vídeos poderosos como esse aqui. Tenho certeza que a sua presença é mais que importante para mim aqui também. Abre aspas. Eu nunca escrevi Auren para ser poderoso. Eu o escrevi para ser ele. De certa forma, ele me escreveu para escrevê-lo. Pois para mim, Deus é o melhor escritor para escrever a sua história e a minha história. Alguém que não é apenas onipotente, mas acima dele e o vê como trivial. Não há nada que possa alcançá-lo, pois ele é o ponto mais alto que existe. Fecha aspas, Auren. Há teorias que vivemos em uma ficção fictícia, uma realidade paralela, uma Matrix, uma ficção que é apenas um sonho. Vivemos em um mundo fictício e, como meros mortais, podemos ver o Auren como apenas ficção, já que não há outra maneira de ver ele. Você só pode ver um aspecto dele. Não pense nele como real, mas como uma representação de tudo e nada. Pense em tudo que existe e tudo que não existe, tudo que você pode imaginar e tudo que você não pode imaginar, ambos fictícios e não fictícios, que são Auren. Auren não é real, porque é impossível para nós vê-los como tal. Ele é o fim acima de todos os fins e o limite acima de todos os limites. Auren, ele representa então e também incorpora o infinito absoluto, sendo então a representação do infinito absoluto. Ele transcende todos os infinitos e também cardeais dentro da teoria dos conjuntos. O que é cardeais e teoria dos conjuntos? Assim como os da 𝗔𝗫liche contém seu próprio universo, os conceitos matemáticos são predominantemente por toda parte, coisas como cardeal 𝗷𝗀, diferenças qualificativas e assim por diante. É lógico que explicar todo o conceito é totalmente difícil e também complexo, mas vamos então para um exemplo mais simples. Imagine um conjunto finito. Um conjunto finito seria como, por exemplo, uma maçã, um carro, uma roupa. Isso é um conjunto finito, uma coisa limitada. Agora, podemos então aumentar esse conjunto finito, colocando então ele num grupo de vários elementos que quisermos? Sim, podemos, mas eles não precisam então necessariamente perceber um ou ao outro em nenhum sentido que ele for agrupado. Por exemplo, podemos então usar um conjunto finito para poder aumentar seu número para que não fique preso a coisas superficiais. Um conjunto de areia, um conjunto de partículas de água, partículas de átomos e assim vai. Existe também conjuntos infinitos. Um exemplo mais simples de conjunto infinito são literalmente números, do 1 até o infinito. Esse conjunto ele é geralmente escrito como n, e é chamado então de conjunto de números naturais S. Não havendo então um elemento maior e não havendo então um número natural que descreve então quantos elementos ele possa ter, isso é basicamente as condições necessárias para que o conjunto seja então infinito. Lembre-se que cardeal refere-se então apenas ao tamanho de um conjunto. Voltando para o Auren, o absoluto, por ele estar então no seu auge da teoria dos conjuntos, ele é, por extensão, o auge do sistema de camadas, pois a teoria dos conjuntos é um método de escalonamento absurdo. O infinito absoluto ele é o conceito de 𝗔𝗫liche𝗀𝘀𝘀, de infinito que transcende os números infinitos. 𝗔𝗫liche𝗀𝘀𝘀 equacionou o infinito absoluto como Deus. Personagens como 𝗔𝗫liche𝗀𝘀𝘀 se escala acima de toda a sua cosmologia e criou os frutos do Éden. Uma única fruta do Éden contém então um número infinito de narrativas, conceitos e todas as suas concepções concebíveis do próprio infinito. Ele criou um número infinito dessas frutas penduradas em uma árvore. O Auren absoluto está nesse mesmo esquema de nível de poder. O Auren absoluto também tem a sua origem da história chamada de Eu Posso Dizer o que Está Matando as Estrelas, uma série da Creepypasta.
It swallows entire star systems and galaxies. Right now, when you look into the sky and you see countless stars, they are but remnants of life, and their final breath is traveling through space to express their last dying words. There is nothing out there for you. Nothing can stop it, and there is nothing to see anymore. It will take millions of years before it gets to you, but I can let you know, it's all dead out there. I'll tell you my story so you can follow in my footsteps, as it could lead to the survival of your race and future generations. But you must act very soon. Let me begin where it all began on my home universe. A very long time ago, my people were an incredibly advanced race, where we were on the precipice of dimensional travel. My people have always had a very long lifespan, to give some perspective. The entire human civilization until this point would only be a blink in my total lifetime. Because of this, there is a wealth of knowledge that's been passed down generation to generation, it all being accumulated to this point. With all this knowledge, several thousand years before the Great Dying, we discovered the void collapsing entire galaxies. Our greatest minds got together in what was called the Council, and brainstormed a possible end to the void. However, no matter what we threw at it, and no matter the attempts to reach out, the creature seemed unwavering and had the intent to end everything. The Council decided there was no way to stop the great devouring void, so they wanted to move on to another dimension. However, the machine wasn't done. At this point, we had very little time left as the void was moving closer and closer by year. Soon after, there was a discovery of a new mineral. This mineral had all the answers we needed and produced enough radioactive power to charge the temporal machine. However, it was very close to the void, so we extracted as much as we could before it would end up in the beast's gullet. The events after would lead to my eventual travel to 7 other dimensions, all containing the beast, and all ending up the same, swallowed up into nothing. Within a few years, the Council was able to get a working model, and testing was on the way. I was a part of the Council at this point since I was the head engineer. I would facilitate the trials. The first one was with a young woman. Couldn't be older than 6,000 years. She was short, but perfect for the first test. She put the suit on, and within seconds her suit started to light up. Good. It's working great. We may only need one test for her size range, I thought to myself. Shortly after, the whirring of metal and popping became extremely loud. Shortly after, I started hearing the crunching of bone and the tearing of flesh. Her screams echoed throughout the testing chamber. Her blood was leaking out of the suit, and a mist of blood sprayed as the pressure grew on the suit. Before I could turn the suit off, it already collapsed her whole body into a round mass of meat and blood. This was not the last trial this happened. Time and time again, no matter the size or the tweaks I designed, they all failed, each test subject ending up as a puddle on the floor. The public grew wary, and fewer people volunteered. We ended up having to pay them to have people test it. After a year of failures, The void was within a couple 100 years, which to us was not long enough. We kept trying. Hundreds of bodies piled up, and with only a few years left, I was finally successful in my first test. It started with a stout man who was 7.2 feet tall and 265 pounds. That being said, he was a bit nervous, knowing the pile of bodies that he was trying to overcome. We were all scared of what could happen. I was on the floor this time, and I was tweaking the suit to only jump to the nearest dimension that is safe. I found there was an issue, and the suit was low on fuel, but we decided to go forward with it anyways. You will be okay, I promise. I'll be here to watch personally to make sure it all goes right, I said to the test subject. He looked at me with a nervous smile and shook his head in silence, accepting his fate, whether he lives or dies. In a wave of my hand, the other scientists in the pod above pressed the button and activation. In a flash of bright blue light, the man disappeared. Now, I did tell him how to come back, and the idea is the suit needs to wait 2 hours before it can actually boot up and start again. I left instructions as to how to start it manually in the pocket. We hear him say something over comms, but it was full of static, but we can still partially make it out. I see blue. Clouds are really pretty. I replied to him with how to fix the issue. You can hear him slowly getting better. Hello? Is this better? He said. Yes, much better. Go ahead and describe the area. There was a short pause. The sky is blue, and the clouds are normal, akin to our clouds. Oddly, I don't see any other beings or life. I don't see grass or trees. It's just all dirt and stone. I wrote down some other information. It was only relevant to see if we can live there, so we might be able to plant trees or vegetables. While I was writing the notes down, I hear a, "What the fuck is that?" It's the test subject. He was screaming and running for his life. Listen, you have to describe what is going on. What is chasing you? I can hear him huffing and puffing. I don't think it could have caught up. It's actually really slow. I wrote this down and asked, what are its features? Test subject was able to catch his breath and say, "Whew, okay. The thing is bright orange and had 4 legs with what looks to be stone covering him from head to toe. It's just walking around. There's no head that I can see, just legs and a body. Can I come back?" I note all this on the pad. Alright, you can come back. Just pull the cord on your chest and press the button inside the glove. He sighs and replies, "Okay, here goes nothing." We can hear the suit whirl up, and then there's a pop. Seconds later, I hear screaming coming from the admin room. I rush upstairs to find the male subject unable to speak, but he was out of the suit, and the suit itself was on the ground. However, he was melded into the wall. No blood was coming out. It looks like he fused with it perfectly. It wasn't until he started to flail his arms and grabbing on people where we studied him and his effects. An hour goes by, and I reported it works only one way. But the good news is that it works. I reported this finding to the rest of the people, and with only a few days left, we all started to mass produce the suits. The only kicker is we only had fuel for one suit, which I knew, but the rest didn't. I'm not proud of this, but the void was getting closer, and at the point where I filled up the suit all the way, it was only hours left. Everyone was getting ready to start their own suits. Billions of my people, all hopefully, but unaware of the void that was going to end their suffering. I only hope my people got a swift death as I teleported out. I think about all my people being destroyed by the void. I wake up at night screaming, remembering seeing it open its impossible huge mouth as it swallowed the stars and galaxy barreling toward us. I can't imagine the fear they had when none of the suits worked, or the anger they had when they noticed I left and no one else. What was I supposed to do? Die and not warn countless others? My decision wasn't a selfish one. I built the suit. I know all of its ins and outs. I know how to fuel and take care of it. I'm sorry I didn't mean to rant, but I need you reading this to understand how this thing worked. My dimension has to be gone by now, I thought as I popped into a new dimension. This one was strange. Everything was gray, but I can feel wind. I looked at my diagnostics. It appears there was a breathable amount of oxygen on the air. This planet was entirely the same as ours, just underdeveloped. It was getting late and I needed to build a shelter. Now with the rest of the night, I just used the fuel I had left to charge my suit. That was the backstory of my universe. This new one will be gone soon, but that's a story for a different time, as this one has gone long enough, and I have way more to tell about the new plane. Tonight, I will be charging the suit up and laying down. Until then, live long, travelers. Auren, Z.
O Auren, ele é a visão do que seja Deus, um ser todo-poderoso, acima de todos os ideais e descrições. Representa então o infinito absoluto, significando o ponto final em qualquer coisa. Nada está acima do Auren, e tudo é apenas um aspecto do verdadeiro poder do Auren. Se baseando então na história do Auren, ele está acima de qualquer escritor, transcendendo a nossa realidade básica e ficando acima da não ficção. Auren, ele é o escritor supremo, o ser supremo, o ser absoluto. Ele estaria acima de coisas como 𝗷𝗫 e também 𝗰⁰, como um todo. Todas essas coisas podem ser descritas e também conhecidas, enquanto então Auren estiver acima de tais coisas. Não existe SCP algum que possa vencer Auren o absoluto, nem quadrinho, nem livro, muito menos personagens triviais. Afinal, se ele é absoluto, ele é o ser supremo, absoluto. Mas você acha que existe algum outro personagem que possa derrotar o Auren, o Absoluto? Comenta aqui nos comentários, eu quero ver a sua opinião, o que você acha sobre isso. Aproveite também, se inscreve no canal para você conhecer outros personagens tão poderosos como esse, batalhas mortais também, tão poderosos quanto essa aqui também, envolvendo o Auren, quem sabe, né? Muito obrigado por tudo, valeu, falou e até mais.